Okay, so my starter, I think is about 130 grams in there right now because of the glass. So what you do is you add 30, zero that out first, 30 grams of bread flour. Do the same thing with water, 30 grams of water. I already pre-measured it. So then this just sits. You mix it for 2 hours, let it sit 2 or 3 hours. And then the other step right now is you mix the flour and water for the main bread ahead of time without salt, which is called auto-lyse or auto-leasing. I don't know what the heck it is, but so this, try and keep as much as possible. Now, what I do is you never close this all the way. You just put it on loose, let it sit in the counter. You can do that by itself, or do what I do, which is called auto-lease or auto-lyse. I don't know what the hell. I'll show you the name of it. Put this thing on here, zero it out. And I've been doing 450 grams of white. Bam. And then around 50 of this wheat. The wheat bread seems to make it rise a little better because it's just got more grains and stuff in it. So right around 500. And then I take water, 340, 350 grams. I started doing 350, but I've lowered it to 340-ish. So it seems like the dough's too wet if I do 350. So I just add this now with no salt. Just until it gets just a little bit moist, all the flour, and then stop. You don't want to go too much right now. Which, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll do this real quick. Some people say not to use a mixer for sourdough, but I actually do it all the time now. It works a lot better. So right around now, once it picks up all the flour, you just stop. That's it. Cover it, let it sit for about 2 or 3 hours. All right, step 2, after 2.5, 3 hours or so, this is how high it gets. I don't know if you can tell from before, but it's rising. So what I do is take 50 or 60 grams out of here. So 401's good to go. So what was that, 54, 55? That's about right. Half a teaspoon, maybe of salt, but I don't fill this up. I just kind of, this is a half a teaspoon. And then you just want to mix it up and cover it again. Let it mix real good. Cover it. Do every half an hour or hour, go back and do the same thing about 5 or 6 times. That's what I do now. I'll do it throughout the day. Right now it's 3 o'clock. I'll probably do it at 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe tonight when I get home from volleyball, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. And then let it sit overnight and it'll rise in this thing and it'll be gigantic tomorrow morning. So it sat overnight and it grew larger than I expected. So now, basically, do not want to mess with it too much. All I do is probably, no, maybe 10 seconds maybe on here. It goes poof. And get it to where it pulls all the way from the walls and stop. And now, that's the consistency. Came right off, which is nice. All right, once you get it out of the mixing bowl, I put a little flour on this and then basically folded it in on itself a few times to sort of create a little ball. And once you get the ball going, you want to tighten it by creating resistance underneath it to really get a ball shape. Need some more flour on it. So this thing's really ready to go. Yeah. So this is the bowl I'm gonna put it in. You need to get this wet a little bit before you put the white rice flour on it. And this white rice flour is just to stop it from sticking. You can use a lot of this if you want a little bit. I don't think it really matters that much, but it just stops it from sticking. All right, so put this puppy in the middle here. See the balls are, there's like already air bubbles coming to pop on this thing. It's gonna be a big loaf. So now you want to take a wet towel, damp towel, cover it, put it in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours. All right, so I bake mine at 465 on my convection, and it changes to 440. So I turn the oven on. This is cold. And I wait till it gets to about 350 degrees, and then I put it in the oven. Some people put it in right away, cold, but I found that if I wait till it heats up, it works better. So this is from the, it's about, what time is it? It's been in the fridge for about 5 hours. It's a little bit jiggly, but it'll rise better that way. Here's what I do. So it's straight, and take a razor. I just cut it down the center. Gently. About an inch deep in the middle, maybe down to a 1/4 inch down there, and then I do a little slit here, just so it allows it to rise actually better that way. Expand instead of cracking everywhere. If you don't do this, it'll just create its own crack someplace. So that's it. And then my baby behind me, so I gotta move her. Put the lid on it, stick it in the oven. I set the timer for 55 minutes. At around 30 minutes left, I will open the oven and take the lid off and let it cook the rest of the way with the lid off. And that's pretty much it. Hi there. Final